Did we learn nothing from Iraq and Afghanistan? They're showing us the bombs we drop, but they're not showing the bombs that come back. Every time America starts sliding toward another war, the footage looks the same. Missiles launching, explosions in the distance, news anchors talking about precision strikes. It looks clean, it looks controlled, it looks powerful. But war is never clean. And what they're not showing you is the part that always comes next. The retaliation, the escalation, the chaos that follows the first strike. And the craziest part, we've already lived this. Iraq, Afghanistan. Two wars that were supposed to make us safer. We were told Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. We were told it was necessary. That sound familiar? Because now it's, we can't let Iran get nuclear weapons. Same script, different decade. And how did the last one end? Trillions of dollars gone, thousands of Americans dead, tens of thousands wounded, veterans coming home with PTSD, missing limbs, broken futures, and for what? Iraq collapsed into chaos. Terror groups multiplied. The region got more unstable, not less. Then Afghanistan, a 20-year war, and at the end, the Taliban went to take it back in weeks. So what did we actually accomplish? Dead Americans, broken veterans, families destroyed, and now we're supposed to believe this time will be different? Now we're talking about Iran, a country 10 times more complex, more powerful allies, more regional influence, and somehow people think escalation stops at one strike. It never does. And let's talk about something nobody wants to say out loud. Who actually benefits from this? Because it's not the average American. Americans aren't asking for another war. We're asking for lower gas prices, lower inflation, secure borders, safer cities, but instead we get dragged into another foreign conflict. And yes, people are going to get mad at this part, but we have to be honest. A lot of these Middle East escalations somehow always circle back to Israel. And every time America gets pulled deeper, we're told it's about stability. But after Iraq, after Afghanistan, after 20 years of blood and nothing to show for it, people are allowed to ask questions. Because American soldiers are the ones who pay the price. Not politicians, not think tanks, not TV analysis, soldiers. And here's the part that hits me personally. Because I wore the uniform. I know what it means to leave home, not knowing if you're coming back, to miss birthdays, to miss funerals, to live in a constant state of alert. And then years later you realize the mission didn't even matter. That mess stays with people forever, which is why I've always believed this. Any leader willing to send troops into war should know that the sacrifice actually feels like. Because when you've carried the weight, you think twice before gambling lives. And that's why people get frustrated. When they see leaders who never served be the loudest voices for war, if war is necessary, they say okay. Then lead by example. Send your own sons. Send your own families. Because it's always easier to start wars when it's other people's kids fighting them. And here's another thing the media won't show you. They'll show us bombing Iran, but they won't show us the other angle. They won't show the retaliation. They won't show US bases getting hit. They won't show Americans under missile fire. They won't show what escalation actually looks like, because people see both sides. War stops looking heroic real fast. It starts looking tragic. And while all this is happening overseas, look what happens at home. Gas prices rise, inflation spikes, division grows, protest starts, the country gets hotter, politically and economically. Meanwhile, China and Russia get closer. They watch us bleed resources again. They watch us get pulled into another endless conflict, and the rest of the world. They start questioning American leadership, not because we're weak, but because we look predictable, like we never learn. And here's the ugliest truth about war. The people who start it rarely suffer from it. When things get dangerous, leaders relocate. They go to bunkers, secure zones, protected compounds. But regular people, they stay behind, they fight, they die, they bury their families. And now we are already hearing about casualties. Americans, Israelis, civilians caught in the middle. Real people, not numbers on a screen. And once blood is spilled, there's no clean reset button. That's part history keeps teaching us. War is easy to start. It's almost impossible to control. And once the cycle begins, it feeds itself. More retaliation, more escalation, more graves. And decades later, we look back and ask the same question we always do. Was it worth it? Was Iraq worth it? Was Afghanistan worth it? And if we're being honest, most Americans already know the answer. So now the real question is this. Are we about to make the same mistake again? Because history doesn't judge leaders by how strong they sounded in the moment. It judges outcomes. It judges consequences. It remembers coffins. It remembers broken veterans. It remembers the families left behind. And if we didn't learn from the last 20 years, then all that sacrifice meant nothing. Not strategy, not politics, not alliances, nothing. And that should scare every single American. Because once you prove you didn't learn from war, war keeps coming back. And maybe the most dangerous thing a country can become is not weak, but stubborn. Stubborn enough to repeat the same mistake over and over and call it strength. If we didn't learn from Iraq, if we didn't learn from Afghanistan, then the next generation won't just inherit our country, they'll inherit our mistakes. And by the time we ask if it was worth it again, it'll already be too late.